What have we got left? We have 12 minutes and 50 seconds. Miller is trying to take Ice and Mountain. They're trying to take Ram Analytics again. I'll be very impressed if they take Ram Analytics because they've been trying to do it all game. It doesn't look like the Mountain pass is going to succeed, simply due to numbers. And yeah, we can already see that the Connery force is already outside. And although Miller's got himself a motion sensor, that's a lovely engineer turret. One grenade and it's game over.
The VS are still on the point here at East River Sky Station. They actually don't have that many people here. I mean, it's certainly several squads, but if this was a concerted effort by Miller, they should be able to easily push them out, especially from behind.
The Vanu force saves Mountain Pass as we thought they would. As far as, oh dear, Rime Analytics, I was going to say they might be able to do this, but again, they're staying inside the capture point. They're staying inside the building, which is too easy for grenades to bounce around and pick them off. And it's too easy for the the defenders to come in and shoot through the windows and give them peeks when they choose. The defenders are committed to always looking, but the attackers get the advantage to peek, grenade, back away. The defenders can't do. And I think this is Future Crew here because I'm seeing some of the tags along with a recursion. And they make a save. Now admittedly they did pull a lot of numbers. It just seems that Miller can't quite... They get multiple base attacks going on, but unfortunately there's so few lanes perhaps and there's so many people, they're having just a really hard time making base flips. I mean, why do you think this is working for Connery more than it is Miller? I mean, because Connery isn't relying on an air force.
No, and I think that we tend to reach a point with these matches where it kind of snowballs. Once you have certain choke points, it's really easy for a server to push from those choke points and move out. I mean, for instance, the losing Echo Valley substation was kind of a capstone here. Miller is trying right now to get back East River Sky Station. They have a little bit more pop than Connery does. They just aren't pushing out. They aren't there yet, and it's down to under almost 30 seconds. It's a snowball effect where whether it's morale or you were really counting on holding at that biolab or holding at that really defensible base, it's hard for servers to kind of come back and push past that once the victory has happened on the other side and you're now staring at what you considered your biggest asset to try and defend.
Right, and yeah, the problem is I wonder if Miller's just kind of trying to play for fun now, or they're just doing some silly stuff, but I just saw a full squad of Miller drop at Raw Material Labs on the capture point, but they didn't actually drop on the capture point, they dropped in the rear of the capture point and fought their way in, fought their way to the cap point, and then they got at least that one particular squad wiped out. And okay, it looks like Miller sent a lot more forces, so that makes more sense now, but it's like... For me, I felt that the Connery force, when they decided to attack a base, nobody was at that base to begin with. So let's say that, they went for Echo Valley substation. And when we missed this, we missed Connery taking East River Sky Station.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
So what I was saying is that Connery would go after bases that nobody's there. So they get that free 1 minute, 2 minute, if they're lucky, countdown, and then Miller responds. Gosh, I mean, imagine what it's like to being a force commander. If you look at the map, admittedly we're watching the action that's going on and occasionally checking the map, but you can totally miss one base if you have a lapse of concentration for like 2-3 minutes.
Well, and that's why I think the servers have all gone to the idea of a force commander, because a force commander is basically just supposed to be staring at the map. You don't want that person getting invested in a fight somewhere. They're supposed to be the one who's telling everyone else, hey, by the way, there's somebody behind you at a base.
There's another thing, the maps don't actually update in real time. The population number. So yes, you can see what's going on and when a base is under contention, but it doesn't necessarily report the accurate numbers. There is actually a bit of a lag and a delay, similar to how the percentage numbers in map, these numbers up here I'm showing on the stream, they're not actually 100% real time. There's a small delay. Our stats are actually more quicker updating than the in-game's map. And I guess here's another kind of interesting thing for you. What if, right, speculating here, you couldn't see what was going on the map? Let's say you couldn't see cap timers. You could see maybe hotspots and fights going on, but you couldn't see cap timers. How would that mess with the game? Would you need some sort of command and control responding system?
Yeah, you would need almost like a radio relay. Miller has decided they're finally going to make a huge push for Aurora Materials Lab. They're down to 30 seconds on this.
They're up to... Wow, we're up to like one full platoon at least, if not more.
They're still allowing the VS to go unmolested, running to the big stairs. That's the problem.
This is just like the Southern Ymir. It's the exact same building type. Large stairs into double doors into capture point. Too many grenades and maxes, and they just get swamped. And this is exactly what's happening. The Connery force ran from the teleporter building to the small staircase and then just absolutely zerged. I mean, look at the sheer numbers of Connery warping themselves into the A point and just pushing Miller back. I mean, what can you do as one man? If you're, let's say you're the most capable offensively, let's say a heavy assault, right? Maybe you have 4 AV grenade bandoliers and maybe you have explosives and some rockets. You can't stop this. There's just so many things coming at you.
This is the thing where, you know, Connery doesn't need to put its forces into a biolab. They can, I mean, they've been able to for a while now just defend what they have, but certainly they have bases that work very well for this. Southern Reach and Aurora Materials Lab are, as we've seen, just very, very easy bases to defend. It's difficult to prevent the defenders from getting from the spawn room to the door. Even if you have air power, it's just not enough of a run to really do a whole lot of damage to them. And they have easy access to getting grenades to chuck them up through the door and take out the people who are doing the point hold.
From Connery's point of view, this probably couldn't have gone any better. If they were able to hold on to Manny Lake Satellite, that's them done a complete lockout, where it's the 2 biolabs and it's the aero listing post. That's, for them, they're like, this is good for us. You know, we don't need to do this. I mean, if they were able to take a biolab, then that's fantastic. And Sierra listing post is deviously difficult to take. So... And
Sierra, actually, now there's under 7 minutes remaining in this match, so Sierra couldn't be captured even if it was undefended.
Ah, well, there you go. So what you're saying is perhaps that Miller force defending Sierra listing post doesn't need to be there anymore. They could actually go somewhere else.
I would go try and get as many of those 4 cap point bases as you can. Go after Echo Valley, go after East River, reinforce your guys at Southern Reach, do another push for Aurora Materials Lab, go after Rhyme. You know, you have multiple weak points that you could be going after right now that would, you know, help your score. At this point, even though it's incredibly unlikely you could win the match, you can make it better for your score in the end. You can, you know, raise up your territory percentage that will help you if you win the next 2 matches.
Well, now Connery's Air Force has turned up quite healthy numbers of scythes, preventing all forms of reinforcements and galaxy spawns currently from the biolab, preventing any form of Miller reinforcement to Aurora Material Labs. Rhyme Analytics is safe, possibly because a whole bunch of galaxies are being picked off now. Connery's Air Force, they're going around in 1s and 2s, they're getting picked off by this death ball of Vanu scythes from Connery in the north. Anyway, as we were saying at Zero Listening Post, Rhyme Analytics can't be attacked because one of the capture points is actually being held by Vanu. They're going for the B point. It looks like they're maybe losing the C point. Nope, they've got a guy. Oh, I tail it back. Yeah, so there's 1, 2. Okay, so the small kind of NC force from Miller takes the C point back, but the B point is still under contention. Actually, more and more reinforcements are coming in. The fact is, tactically speaking, yes, you're having fun and you're preventing any attacks. I mean, Connery's being very smart. By holding 1 capture point at Sierra Listing Post, you safeguard 3 other bases. You safeguard Rhyme Analytics, you safeguard Ice Mountain Pass, and you save Echo Valley Substation from any forms of caps. And we are now 4 minutes to go in the next 3 seconds, and now the Connery force can leave because the Miller couldn't capture these bases.
Thank you.
So, Terran BL4 doesn't matter. The Ymir, theoretically, the Connery force could take it. They couldn't take Manny. Actually, we're at a point now where the only base that can actually be contested is the Biolab. So if the force commanders were aware of what was going on, Biolab fight! Everyone get to Ymir! That's basically what it is.
Who wants to see a 288 versus
288? I want to see more than 500 people in a Biolab. Go for it. Actually, holy crap, that's exactly what they're doing! The number of maxes that have come in now from Connery onto the C capture point is colossal. That must be at least 10 maxes plus. They're just on the minimap, and it is a laser disco show trying to make a spawn room contain. But Miller has their own set of maxes, and with 1 minute and 54 seconds to go, they can grab this base. With, I believe that's 10 seconds for the SU generator. The SU could also go down in time. This is it. This is the last base that can be contended in this game. We have 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in the match. Plenty of time for this Connery force to take the biolab. Can Miller get some saving grace, get some pride, and save this base?
They have Scat Maxes in a biolab. Isn't this what we always talk about? You don't want to face a Scat Max in a biolab?
Oh, but somebody just said, if you're not a max, I don't want you in the biolab. There are so many value maxes in this biolab, and it's just overwhelming forces. And they've got the spawn room contain. They've actually got themselves round to the jungle contain as well. They've got themselves in the front on the kind of the front two buildings in the front of the spawn room, and as round to the teleporter building. There's a horrendous max contain. Miller, you need to call everyone back. There's no reason being at Cerro. There's no reason being at Echo Valley. There's no reason being at Ice Mountain. They don't realise the time. I don't think they realise how much time's left. They're trying to capture bases that simply do not matter. Oh, this is painful because Miller's going to lose the biolab, and they're fighting in other bases that don't matter, and the SU generator is going to go down in 18 seconds, 17 seconds. Oh, this is painful. The communication thing's really hurting Miller, I think, way more than it's hurting the Connery forces.
And by the way, I don't know, I think Connery is using the in-game comms to communicate. I actually hopped over to the DPSO TeamSpeak, and while there are people over there, it is by no means their entire force.
Oh, what's this? The SU generator? Oh, it did go down. I thought they might have had some people, but they don't. SU generator is dead. The spawning force from Miller, they do not have a Sundra in the vehicle bay as far as I can tell. And now in comes the Vanu Max force from Connery, trying to clear out Miller's spawn room. There's max on max. It is just grinding gears of metal against each other, but... Oh, the Charlie capture point is flickering, the Alpha capture point is flickering, but there's no spawns for the Miller force unless they're using the teleporter buildings. Maybe taking down the SU generator, which is a negative thing for Miller. So for Connery, with 1 minute to go, 20... Oh wait, Charlie capture point's back in their hands. 7 seconds, B's flipping, 6 seconds. It looks like Connery's going to get this. I don't see any other forces coming in from me from the balcony, but just not enough to get to the capture point, and Connery finally, in the last minute, takes the bleeping biolab from the bleeping new conglomerate.
I'm sure that was...
It's 62-32 and there's 30 seconds left.
Alright.
So, I guess we are done since there's too much time left on the
Are you working off the website? Because my time's a little bit off here. You refresh your page.
20 seconds now.
There you go, 20 seconds, that's what I thought. I tell you what, Redland, I'll make a yell at the biolab. Why don't you go find the next highest population at Aurora Material Labs and make the call?
Okay, I head to Aurora.
And Passionate, I want you to just record the score.
It's over. Connery wins by 62% against 32. So, well done, Connery.
Right, Passionate, see if you can't grab a hold of the leaders and see if we can't get them into, or give them the details of this TeamSpeak.
Yep, I'm doing that right now.
What was the score, 62-32?
62-32, yes.
Is the Service Match TeamSpeak running again? Let's have it go.
Take a look, yeah.
Hello, Passionate. Activate your TeamSpeak on the other one, on Service Match, Redland. Wow, that was brutal, everyone. The fighting's still theoretically going on.
Do I still give the informations for the TeamSpeak?
If they're here, no, it's fine. Hey guys, can we round up the reps and we'll have a little chat here? I'm sure there's plenty of things for us to talk about.
Yep, I'll go get the Connery guys.
Right, let's have a look at some...
Stampede.
While we wait for the people, let's have a look at some stats, guys. That's a stressful game. There's going to be lots of drama about the comms and how it may or may not have an impact on the game. Connery was still in the lead when it happened, but we'll have a look at just some of the kind of linings. Connery in a slight lead in terms of kills. They have themselves close to 16,500, and Miller's 14,000, roughly 700 kills in total. Oh, you can actually we can actually see the exact numbers over here. I'm just going off the kill graph. We'll have to find out who the top player is, but the top VS player got 324 kills. That's impressive. And the top NC was 257. Top outfit today was no outfit, so that's just basically that are not tagged. But Future Crew came second, or rather top in single outfit. Then came Recursion. Top weapons, not surprisingly, came the Orion, but then came the anti-vehicle grenade, and that's really down to the resource system. So it's impressive. Then comes the Anchor, some C4, and you can see the stats for yourself. And this page will be available for everyone else to check. And vehicles, let me refresh that, that's not in order. That's a little bit odd. I'll need to check into why the stats of the vehicles are out. But the Reavers are in top, then come Scythes, and it kind of falls away. Galaxies, Sunders, Lightnings, and I think we don't have a scroll bar, but we're only showing top 10 Vanguard, so we're not that many Mag Riders, I should say. So it's interesting. Vehicle-wise, there was some air game, but it wasn't like overwhelming. Like there were significantly more kills with other means rather than just air vehicles. Right. So hey guys, we got a bunch of people in the room. Patro, how you doing? Ghost Marauder, nice to see you. We're looking for some Miller people. Let's see what we can drag some people for us.
Patroni is it's Stumpy Cat. Stumpy Cat is still around. And the reps are here as well, so I think you can drag them here. I asked them to come, but I think they're on the TeamSpeak, so they're not.
Can you drag them? Or
yeah,
Luya, Lanzer, go grab them. Hello, R-Tiger. Lovely laser show by the Connery forces on the airpad of Ymir. So, I take it you're here, Patro, or Yunvi? I'm waiting for you guys to say hello.
They must still
hey,
be
how's
on
it going there?
TeamSpeak.
Hey, so I guess interesting, explosive game of Esamir Server Smash. The main talking point has got to be the disaster recovery. What do you do when you lost your comms? Like, what happened and how did you cope with it?
Well, if you want to know what happened on our side of things, it initially started with me screaming over command chat, end game, try to get a hold of any of our platoon leads. And then once we finally got a hold of a few people, or at least a squad leader or two who actually had it, then we slowly went back to a TeamSpeak we normally did our meetings in. We ended up having to have all the platoon leaders in one channel together, and kind of just worked with it. It was still really chaotic working in that kind of environment. But we bounced back with it really quick because, once you lose communication, you definitely saw there at the end, it kind of started making a huge difference. And we were able to just bounce with it and move as fast as we could to get comms back up for at least the platoon lead and use in-game comms from there.
Do you feel that during the chaos of comms that Miller was able to get a foot up and get some advantage, or do you feel it's just equally chaotic for both teams?
But really, it came to like a 10-minute standstill, like where nobody was making any ground in any direction. So I don't think, I really don't know what Miller's comm situation looked like, but from our end, I know there was about a 10-minute standstill where you could tell we just had our platoons fighting to hold on to what they had where they were at, and then after that we finally got people in and started hitting it hard again.
Right, so hey Stumpy Cat, how are you doing? So, I just asked the question to the Connery guys, how did you handle inevitably the talking point of this game, the comms breakdown?
It was actually very good. Tiger turned up and he said, you can use this TeamSpeak. After about, say, 10, maybe 15 minutes, we managed to get our platoon leaders on there. We basically had no comms, no communication. The in-games wasn't set up because no one's ever heard of this TeamSpeak crashing. It was a real shock, and it did remove all tactical communication between.
Right, because we were joking on stream that, oh, you want a 1,000-person TeamSpeak server, here you go. But you're actually going to bring 1,000 people. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So you were able to recover, but it did take you about 10-15 minutes. We were looking at the map thinking it was impacting on you, like certain bases, like I think it was Echo Valley Substation, that nearly went with a few seconds to go.
Be honest with you, the move that destroyed us was the opening move at Rhyme. You know, that was a great move. If I'd have been you guys, that's where my first attack would have been, and that's exactly what you did. So hey, props to you. You know.
Yeah, we were really nervous about you overloading Matheson's Triumph behind us. So that was a huge point for us. Was we sent some of our best guys up there to really just hold it down and, you know, get some time off the clock. And if we didn't get it, we didn't get it, but we did, and it really allowed us to put a lot of early game pressure.
That seemed like a great mirror moment there. You both did exactly what you needed to do. I mean, Miller did exactly the play they had to, going to Matheson's Triumph, going to mining, and Connery did exactly what they needed to do, going to Rhyme and going to mining as well. And for a moment, it seemed like Miller had actually interdicted at mining. Do we know who was the person who managed to slip in and finally get the cap on the point there? Do we know who that was for Connery?
I just had one squad. I'm not exactly sure who did it, but I remember watching in horror as I saw the numbers. It's like 30. It was a platoon on there interdicting, and then all of a sudden I see the cap go through. I'm like, what? How awesome! You know,
I was
just
there
one of those
my...
moments where you're holding your breath. You know, it's just
I
was on that.
I was there in camera, and I saw a galaxy come in late. You know, obviously a second wave of people coming to that point, and I saw them drop, and it looked like they all got wiped out. I assume that somebody just managed to slip behind the Miller guys, and that's the problem with the interdiction. You can kill off a lot of people, but that is a very, very open cap point, and it just takes that one guy slipping through, or those two guys slipping through, and getting the cap point to move, and it's over.
Go back to your question on the TeamSpeak. It did really destroy us because platoon leads couldn't communicate with their squad, so there was no intercommunication on platoon. So platoon leaders were on our backup TeamSpeak, and then they couldn't communicate to their squads, so they were getting the orders, but their squad leaders, it really disorganized us.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. We had to fall back to basically our any TeamSpeak, and I gave Redlint the details because I was like, Redlint, why aren't you talking? What's going on here? Is it just me solo casting or what? I was like, oh right, TeamSpeak's having a heart attack. Oh, that's interesting.
It crippled us at Ymir. It absolutely crippled us.
How did it affect the Connery guys? Because I mean, this is the one thing. It affected the casters. It affected everybody.
It didn't affect them at all. They killed us.
Patro, how did it affect you guys?
Well, I mean, like I said, with the comms going down, it was literally like a 10-minute standstill of chaoticness, especially from a force lead point of view, where we're just trying to get a hold of anyone I could who was listening on command chat. So I'm like, you know, platoon 2 come in, platoon 2 come in. I'd finally get like squad leader Delta to come in, and I'm like, get your platoon lead in this TeamSpeak now. And we did that for about 10 minutes, and then eventually we were able to make some ground. Like I said, it was super chaotic. We had 7 different platoon leads in there and some exos, so it got really chaotic. But you know, we just worked with it. We found out that the comms came back up near the end. We're just like, hey.
Well, we can see that on our tap line on a stream. We see that in the beginning, on the timeline, these are mainly for people in the stream watching, that Connery basically gets himself in the lead, but the lead is only slight, right up till around, the halfway marker when the crash happens, and then it's just breaks away. You Connery guys just totally, you toy your way and you get base after base after base after base. And I can see where the chaos is.
A number of the platoon leads couldn't get their comms working. So from the for the command, you can yell in command chat and all the rest of it, but if someone's in game isn't working, they can't command.
They can't do in command, right?
And that's when the platoon started to fall apart.
Right, so I guess we'll have like disaster planning and other stuff for future games here because it's now mandated and warranted. This sets a precedent. But before then, I want to just talk about the map before the comms came into play. Okay, if I show the map to the stream at the moment, at the beginning of the game, Miller, you guys seem to be in a fairly strong position. You managed to get yourself Ymir. You got yourself the Isotech plant, although you didn't have the mining operations. You got the Southern. You had Waterston's Redemption. That was great. And then, okay, they took Rhyme, and they were kind of back and forth, and they took Freya and Geothermal and Aurora. It was kind of in contention. you had the safe large bases, and it seemed that although Miller was behind in terms of percentages, it was all on your initiative. You had the advantage to push, but Connery was able to keep the attack. So what happened there, Stumpy?
Right, you're asking me to remember 2.5 hours ago, you horrible man.
Well, put it this way, Miller was slightly behind. You had good defensive bases behind you, but it seemed that Connery was constantly doing the attacking rather than Miller.
Yeah, I mean, we went from being proactive and attacking, and then we had to fight some fires, you know. The initial plan was to play whack-a-mole with you guys in Freya Ramp, but that soon went downhill when Rhyme became an issue. So we did quite well at Freya. We started the pre-caps and all that, and you got your pre-cap at Freya substation. Decision was made to pull those guys out because I didn't really want to have them messing around in Freya when Rhyme's going behind them, because Rhyme then opens all sorts of ridiculous possibilities for you people. So they were then retasked, and in hindsight, I believe that was a bad call from me, because I should have just kept with the original plan. And just kept them in Freya, so you have to commit more forces to Freya, therefore there's only 2 squads on Rhyme. I can then free a platoon up or 2 squads and just drop on you at Rhyme. But it was really, by taking Rhyme, and I hate to reiterate this, it was the best move you could make, and it was a great move, because you reinforced it incredibly quickly, which was great to see.
Going into the mid-game, the part of this, do you feel that was there an area of the map that you felt secure in that you eventually lost, that you thought, wow, that was the death knell? What was it? What was the area that you felt the most secure about, and how do you feel you lost it?
Well, Isotech was something we hadn't really discussed losing. A lot of our strategies were predicated upon having Isotech plant secure. That horrible man who sat on the point at Iso Mining and capped it back, who needs to be flayed alive or something, that forced me then to recall forces from what is it called today? Matheson's Triumph. To get that back, and then you were able to then come and roll him back while pushing to Rhyme. And then at that point, I think you redeployed a lot of people to Emir Biolab when that was currently the situation. And I then had to move a platoon to deal with that again. So it was basically they were just moving forces around really quickly, and it was forcing me and Tiger to make decisions about our force movements, and so we were becoming reactive. We couldn't really make you react that well.
I guess there's stuff to learn for both sides. I mean, Connery, congratulations, you got yourself a win under your belts after the last 2 games, so I'm sure you're psyched about that.
Well, that was preseason. We're ready for the tournament.
Right, so that doesn't matter. It matters now. And Connery, I guess, for Miller, next week will be, is that Amrish, correct, Redland?
That is Amrish, yes.
So, how do you guys feel about Amrish coming up next? Not next week, but in 2 weeks from now. You guys are gonna, gather your thoughts and then go from there. What do you think you're gonna be doing there? For either of you guys.
Tiger, are you who's leading? I don't even know who's leading it, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not leading that one.
I haven't been asked yet, so it'll be interesting.
Amrish, though.
It's an interesting new map. It's going to be the long lanes on Amrish are quite different to what you get on Hossen and Ezimir.
Right, and split extra lanes and spreading out.
Yeah,
the spaces between the bases are going to be the harder. It's going to be harder to move troops over ground and be able to quickly. We're going to need to have pre-cap forces in place. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You're going to need to say, if you're going for Araxis Firearms Corp to Araxicom substation, as soon as you cap the corporation, Araxis Firearms Corp, you need your